All right, welcome into the stream. Derek here. We're doing Gaming with Derek again. Another week of Browns football taking on the Jets this week. So joining me, same guy as last week to preview the Giants. That is Justin Walters of WPIX in New York. We're now gonna take a look at the Jets game. And as part of the gaming segment, we're going to do a logo quiz game today, Justin. But again, thanks for joining me and thanks for hopping in. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Back-to-back weeks. Is this history? Have you ever had someone repair twice,
No,
back to
this is
back?
this is this is the first time ever. So way
Well,
to
I need a better rollout than that. This is like history making right now. The first time ever we have someone on Gaming with Derek 2 straight weeks back to back like Drake.
That just means you got to bring your A game today. That's all. That's
I'm
all.
ready. I think my game will be better than a Jets game. Let's leave it at that.
But will it though? I mean, they're riding high right now. They've got all the confidence in the world coming into this game.
It's funny how you can throw out so many terms after you win one victory. Riding high, let's pump our brakes. But I do think, in terms of this Browns and Jets game, that this probably was the best thing that could happen to the Browns. As you're entering into the thick of the season, 2 games left, you have the Steelers, your season finale. The last thing you want to do is underestimate a team with the division title possibly still on the line. So knowing that the Jets have won this game, I think that is just even more motivation for the Browns to know, like, hey, guys, they beat the Rams, who are in playoff contention. We cannot take these guys lightly. They won for a reason. And you know how football players are. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. You are for this team. Do understand that the head of that snake is Sam Darnold, and that is where you should start. News coming out today also about Quinnen Williams being put on IR. So that's going to make it a bit easier for the Browns offensive line, not having to stop him.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But yeah, it's one of those things with the Browns where going into this week, they knew that there was going to be a chance that they can get into the postseason. All they have to do is win, and one of the other teams that are vying for a wild card, one of those teams have to lose or tie for a couple of those teams. So more than likely they're in because that's a four-team situation. One of those teams will probably lose. But now they come into a different situation. Steelers lose on Monday night in a game that you thought they probably shouldn't have lost. They've now lost three in a row, I believe. Yeah, three in a row. And now the Browns are looking at this game with a potential chance of taking the division. So there's all this extra added momentum for the Browns and something else to reach for because we know how that rivalry is in the AFC North or in any division, but if you can take the division, especially over the Steelers, that's the jewel in the AFC North. So definitely more motivation for the Browns. But we talked about the Jets' motivation now. I don't know how it sways. Obviously, the front office wants them to lose. They'll never go on record by saying that because you want that
Yeah,
number one pick.
the front office isn't going to come out and boldly state, hey, guys, we're going after Trevor Lawrence. I need you to, or need everyone on the team to give as minimal effort as possible. No one's going to say that. They're going to give you the cliche. I think it is at least good that the Jets have finally won a game because I believe only 2 other teams and franchise are in NFL history have gone the distance, being 0-16. So now you don't have to be a part of that group. You can still be a part of the small fraction of teams that have won only one game. Not only does Trevor Lawrence have an opportunity to just play for the Jets, but I think that there's a ripple down effect is that if they do get a chance to hop back or leap over Jacksonville, this could also affect who their new head coach is
Mhm.
because we all understand it's just a matter of time when Adam Gase is being shown the door. But it was surprising to see that he was the one that called the shot and gave Greg Williams the boot. So clearly he still has some type of power in this organization, but I'm pretty sure that I can guarantee that if Gase was to return next season, the Jets fans would riot, even during a pandemic. That's how passionate they feel about this guy going out.
Yeah, it's amazing how you could have all those expectations, and I wouldn't even call it hype, but to bring in a head coach and then to see him go after 1 year or whatever. I mean, same thing happened with the Browns with Freddie Kitchens. All that hype with Freddie Kitchens. Now he's on the Giants and trying to call plays against us on Monday on primetime football, which didn't necessarily work on Sunday night. But it's funny not to bring up old history, but you bring up there's only been a handful of teams to go 0-16, and luckily the Jets haven't done that. The Browns did that like 2 years ago. So way to bring up some bad memories to for
I didn't
Browns
want to
fans.
mention it. Hey, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. This is a Cleveland market show. Everyone understands the the bad history that's taken place. So I didn't want to rub it in there. I just was mentioning that they didn't want to be a part of the small fraction of teams that have done that. But you said it. I kind of threw it out there.
Hey, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid at all. So let's talk about the game Sunday. Obviously, you got to see the Browns firsthand a little bit when they took on the Giants on Sunday night. So you're going to see them again for a second week in a row. It was one of those where, yeah, it was a 20-6 game, but it was a bigger deficit than that. Browns really kind of took care of business, and they did it in a different way than they typically have. Obviously, we talked about this in our preview, giving the ball to Nick Chubb, giving the ball to Kareem Hunt, but we really saw what Baker Mayfield can do in this one. So what'd you see out of the Browns Sunday night as they get ready for Sunday?
I was impressed with the win. I'm not surprised that the Giants' main formula was to stop Nick Chubb as well as Kareem Hunt. I think that was one of the focal points I mentioned leading into the game on last week's show. Baker Mayfield showed that a lot of times people are going to stop the run because of how explosive you guys are, and they're going to dare teams to beat him. Are they going to dare teams to say like, "Hey, Baker, in order for Cleveland to win, we need you to throw us into the game." And that is exactly what happened. So for the most part, the Giants have a solid secondary. Moving into now the Jets, they're going in for, I guess, the New York sweep, if you call it that, minus the Bills. They're playing a team that has the historically inept offense. The Giants had the 31 lowest ranked in points. Now the Jets are right under them at 32.
Hmm.
Easily, if the Browns can get on the scoreboard early, I don't see a reason why they can't win this game. They just have to make sure that they don't underestimate their opponent, something that the Rams did.
Yeah, and obviously the Jets coming away with the win, the 3-point win over the Rams. And Sam Darnold had a pretty solid game on Sunday. So talk about what you saw out of Darnold last week.
Sam had a solid game, but at this point, I think it's less to do with what he can do with the Jets, and it's more about an audition for upcoming teams because the writing on the wall is there that he apparently isn't going to be the right guy for this franchise. We can ask Joe Douglas, the GM, questions, as well as Adam Gase, who most likely won't be there. And they're going to say that they have the utmost confidence in Sam. But honestly, I just think Sam needs a new scenery, just a fresh experience, somewhere he could start with a clean slate. It's a much different ball game when playing in New York. Everything is about now. It's a microwave generation. Nobody wants to allow a quarterback to grow. Unfortunately, just Sam had a bad luck of the draw with Bowles starting off and having an offensive coordinator. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators, and it's constantly just been a lot of learning on the curve and trial by fire. So I think in a new scenery, similar to what Ryan Tannehill has experienced, he was kind of written off when he was with Adam Gase.
Mhm.
Now he's with Tennessee. He got that nice deal last year, and it appears to be paying off well for them. But new scenery would be good for Sam Darnold. But so far, these next 2 games are going to be an audition for an upcoming team.
Yeah, what'd you call it? A microwave generation? I love the different names for it. I call it an ADD generation. There's just there's just not enough patience. You usually see it more at the college level because you have to have more time at the college level as these guys are recruiting and it takes 3 years. But it's the same thing at the professional level. There's never a lot of patience. I mean, we've even seen it here. It's always been so back and forth with Baker Mayfield. Is he the franchise guy? Is he not the franchise guy? Now people are saying he's the franchise guy because he's put together 3 solid weeks. So it kind of goes back and forth with that patience. Real quick, for everybody watching on Facebook and all the social medias, you can comment and ask questions to me and Justin as we preview this game. And then secondly, we are playing a game as well, so we're gonna get into that, Justin, real quick. And we're just guessing logos here. So some are gonna be easy, some are gonna be hard. I tried to get through some of the easier levels, so we didn't just like crush everything. So what do we got here? This is pretty easy. You're
Yeah, this is easy. Chevrolet.
now I just gotta spell.
Oh yeah.
No, what did I miss? Oh, there we go. No.
See,
Come
you,
on.
you made it difficult on yourself. We got the right
There we
answer.
go. There we go.
There we go.
Let's
Chevrolet.
let's let's spell it right. All right, let's keep moving on. What do we got here? What is this? We can take hints, by the way. Um,
That's a logo.
this is
So
a
it's
logo.
something.
So we got the first letter and the last letter.
Last letter N and A.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the gaming with Derek is cutting off the last letter? Is
Oh,
that also an I? I see
sorry.
two
There's an
I's.
N and a G there. Let
Okay, an N and a
let me
G.
get rid of that for you too, by the
Yeah.
way. There we go.
Ah, got it. Appreciate it. Now I got the full, but it's not like I still know the answer.
I know what
Let's
it
go with,
is. So
you
let's
know what
see.
it is?
I think I know what it is. You have no clue?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Oh no. Did I spell it wrong? Nivea.
Ah,
All right. Let's
delicious.
see.
Ah, easy. Mercedes.
Cool. Let's do one more and then we'll get back to talking football.
This DreamWorks?
It is DreamWorks.
Yeah.
I always remember. So this one for me was when Jurassic Park came out. Remember they did the different animation where like the dinosaur attacks the fishing line and pulls him down. Just random.
Oh, hey, no, those are the things that help us remember this. So, but
Yep.
hey, I'll
Yep.
take it 3 out of 4.
All right. So looking at the Jets defensively, what can we expect to see? Um, do the Browns have any issues scoring on the Jets defense?
I don't think they do, just because that you guys have so many weapons. The Jets have had their issues this year, and it's not just that the Jets offense, or sorry, the Jets defense has had struggles. The Jets defense also has to know that the Jets offense has had 3 and outs. A lot more time on the field, more mistakes are going to be probable, and a lot of things can happen. But for the most part, there are too many playmakers, and it's not necessarily about stopping the Browns. It's about trying to contain them.
Mhm. Back on the offensive side of the ball, Frank Gore somehow still in the league. What is this, like his 21st, 22nd year in the league, something
Hall of
like that?
Famer.
Over exaggerating there on the years, but he's still been productive for this team, and he was productive last week as well. I think he had like 60 yards rushing or something like that. But what is he brought to the Jets this year in terms of experience?
Man, just having someone with that much experience, someone that's sage and wise in the locker room, a lot of players can feed off of that. I think with a lot of locker rooms, what's missing is having that veteran, that old head that you can bounce ideas off of, just find out different techniques. And man, he's still productive. It's amazing. He's a certified first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question about that. I forgot what number he's now at rushing. I think he is now third in rushing yards. Don't quote me on
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
It's remarkable what he's been able to do with his career, the longevity, and being durable at that position. I know that the NFL stands for not for long. I think that expectancy is 3 years, but having him in the locker room has also helped out Gase in bringing credibility because the two obviously were paired together in Miami. So I think for the most part, in the long run, if players like Samaje Perine or any of the other backs are able to flourish and have a good career,
Hmm.
I'm sure they're going to be able to go back to a lot of the conversations they had with Gore, because that's a person that you just want to pick their brain night and day.
Yeah, especially at running back, you talk about the longevity of the league, but running back especially, it's very much a what have you done for me lately kind of position. And for him to be as successful and to continue to start and continue to be the main back on a lot of the ball clubs that he's been on, says a lot about Frank Gore. Um, in terms of just how the fan base right now is looking at this game in terms of setting themselves up for the future. If Trevor Lawrence is not available, who's the next guy that they're looking at?
That remains to be seen. You would want to say maybe Justin Fields, who looks like a solid player from Ohio State, but I think there's a lot of hope. A lot can happen within these two games. Jets fans, without a doubt, clear cut. They're rooting for the Jets to lose and for some type of miracle to take place between the Jaguars with their 2 remaining games. So I think that it's too early to call on who the next player would be lined up. We still have a few college football games left to go, but Justin Fields is one of the top quarterbacks coming out. Alabama, the quarterback's name slips my mind right now. I think it's Mac, but he's obviously a
Hmm.
Heisman favorite as well. But yeah, there's a few players that are out there, but they want Lawrence. It's pretty much clear cut who the number one is.
Talk about how different it is in the AFC East right now. When you usually look at that division, it's usually held by the Patriots. Obviously, a different team. Tom Brady's no longer there. They're trying to win games with Cam Newton. He was out for a couple of weeks. And now we see the resurgence of the Bills, who are now put themselves back in the postseason, clinched the division title. Just this whole reorganization of the division. What's that been like this year?
Man, who would have thought that finally the Patriots look mortal? They have in a few years, but this time it seems like it's going to at least be permanent. And you mentioned the Bills, and not only have the Bills restructured and obviously built around Josh Allen, having Stephon Diggs has been a huge addition, as well as Cole Beasley, and they have a couple of other great backs out there. But I think you also have to look at Miami, who has Tua Tagovailoa, and then you look at the Patriots, who have Cam Newton. Who
Hmm.
knows if Jarrett Stidham is going to be the next guy up? That is why this is crucial for the Jets to know who is your franchise quarterback, because the tide is turning. Josh Allen isn't going anywhere. Tua Tagovailoa isn't going anywhere. Is Darnold still going to be there? Probably not. So that's why you have to make sure you hit on this next quarterback. And then the Patriots are also thinking, man, what's going to be the next step for us? Or who knows? Maybe they're thinking Darnold with the new scenery could be that guy. But that would be beyond bizarre to have Darnold shift sides and then stay in the division and go up to the Patriots. But I'm just throwing that out there. You really don't have to believe it or have any legs to that story.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the same thing here in the AFC North when you look at quarterbacks. I mean, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Roethlisberger, and Burrow. Roethlisberger seems to be the odd man out because he's getting old, and now we might be seeing that he may not have everything in him. But age obviously catches up to him. But I want to talk more Jets, and you guys have a young man who has shown some potential in running back Ty Johnson, who's slowly trying to make a name for himself. What has this team seen with him, and what do they like about him?
For the most part, everything he's done has been solid and has exceeded their expectations. I think the main thing with Ty right now is that he just has to get more reps. And it's tough right now to find that consistency in the backfield when a lot of the handoffs are going to Frank Gore. So for the most part, it's about maximizing the opportunities that are given to you. But his future is bright. I think it'd be better to see him with a full sample of what he could do over a 17-week schedule. But for the most part, he's made sure that he has made this offense aware, or this organization knows that he is a weapon out of the backfield. It's just unfortunately we only have 2 games left, and now you found this hidden gem.
Hmm. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the game. This one's an easy one. We probably could have even skipped it.
Yeah, that's all you got it. Too easy. By the
Coca-Cola.
way, do you guys say Coke down there for sodas?
So,
My friend who's from Ohio, one from Cleveland and another one from Cincinnati.
right.
They both call it Coke, any
So,
form of soda.
so I don't usually hear a lot of Coke. Usually the difference is, and you said it, you're a Northeast guy like I am, it's soda. Usually the Southern uh, the word for it is pop. So that's usually, but yeah, usually when people go to like stores, they usually say, can I get a Coke? Which I always thought Pepsi was like the main distributor. If you were gonna say one or the other, like you'd be like, "Can I get a Pepsi?" You know what I mean? But that's kind of the line. There's a southern line where it's soda or pop, and a lot of people here will say pop as opposed to soda.
Noted. And this is another easy one. Hello Kitty.
Yep.
I've never seen that one before.
Yep. I don't know if I should. I mean, it is an easy one, but should you feel good about yourself for knowing that that's Hello Kitty?
I have a little sister. There's my out. There's my out.
All right,
Oh,
so before
this
we do this one, or before we move on with, because I actually don't know this one, so if you know this one, that'd be great. But we can narrow down and add letters in to this if we need hints.
okay. Yeah, this looks like a soccer club.
Yeah, it may
Um,
possibly be.
it's it's a sport.
You want to go first letter and see?
Yeah.
All right,
Start from,
first letter starts with an A.
hmm.
We have 17 hints that we've built up, so we could actually fill this whole thing if we needed. I think I know what it is now. I know what it is, actually. It's not a soccer club.
It's not a soccer club.
Nope.
Hey, we're on the same team, man. You might as well if you know what it is.
So, yeah, I want to just confirm. I believe that this one is an R. Okay. Yep. I'm still going to spell it wrong.
Alpha.
There we go.
I don't know what that is.
I actually, so let's
I
pull that
can't
one up,
even
right?
like take the funk like I'm like, yeah, yeah.
So I know the brand, it's a car.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Is this a fashion brand?
It is,
Giorgio Armani.
yep. Now I gotta, Giorgio. No. See, the whole spelling thing right now.
Yeah, I know the bottom one is definitely this is Armani. It's I don't
Yeah,
know
but we
about
gotta go in order though, so I'm just gonna give me that. Two G's. I would have never guessed that. Seriously?
yeah.
It won't let me put that there. Why can't I put that there? Alright, we have busted the game right now. Let's go back.
Well,
Let's go
you
back
got
to
it right.
that one. Let's go back to that one. Nope, it won't let me. There we go. Why won't it let me put that? I don't know. All right, we busted the game. Let's. we it won't let me put a G there. I have no idea why. So I'll mess around with that while we talk a little bit more football. We're gonna wrap things up though. We're at the 23-minute mark. Um, Same as always. Keys to the game. What the Jets need to do to come away with the W. What the Browns need to do to come away with the W.
I don't want to sound like that guy for the Jets. If you do want to win this game, of course the player's going to come out with that mindset. It's very simple. Score more points than the Browns. And I know that sounds pretty silly to say, but the Jets offense has been historically inept and their struggles have been well documented. They need to score early and often because playing a game of catch up is not going to be their way to beat the Browns. The Browns have offensive weapons right and left, and Baker can sling it through the air. So if you want to beat the Browns, but if you still want to get Trevor Lawrence, then do what you've been doing all year. It's worked out. It's worked out well for you previously. In terms of the Browns on the opposite side, I think it's just to impose your will, and that's something that I mentioned to them against the Giants. And I think that's important. Just when you have teams that are struggling, you just really want to set that tone early and often, and that's going to be the key to success. If they can do that, put some early points on the board. They put 14 points on the board easily. They'll be able to walk away with this because the Jets playing a game of catch up, they're then going to be one dimensional. The run game really hasn't been that impressive this year. Darnold is known for having his mistakes, especially through the air, sometimes with fumbles. So I think that Myles Garrett is another key matchup you should look at. Him and Mekhi Becton.
Mm.
I know I have kind of like dragged the Jets, but Mekhi Becton is a future piece, and he has shown he's done a good job against some of the top pass rushers in the league. One of his best games was honestly against the LA Chargers, and he was playing against Nick Bosa as well as Melvin Ingram. Myles Garrett is probably one of the best defensive pass rushers, if not the best. So keep an eye on that matchup on the edge and how those two fare.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton was a target that the Browns were looking at going into the draft as well. The one thing to note of Myles Garrett, 0 sacks last week, but after the game, he still talked about how he's still very winded, recovering from COVID-19. So we'll see if he's at 100%. By the way, I did get the game to work again. So we've got a
LinkedIn.
couple we've got a couple more to knock out. LinkedIn, that is correct.
Uh,
I think I know what this is too, but I don't know how to spell it.
I've seen this before.
I believe this is a D, right? First letter is a D. No, I'm wrong. All right, so
All
it's
right.
something different than I thought.
Um, hmm.
We're stumped. Let's go second letter. Still have no clue.
You might as well go the third letter, which would be an I or an A.
Process of elimination. It's an O.
Neither. uh,
So I still have no clue. No
I've
idea.
seen this logo before.
All right. Yep.
I've seen the logo before. I just have never. So Scody.
Skoda. Let's see what that is.
So what is Skoda?
That's another automobile. It's another car. Volkswagen Group.
Oh
Yep, no clue.
man, Wikipedia. These are yeah, man. I, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
We're done at Wikipedia. All right. Well, at least glance at this one.
Yeah, Facebook.
All right.
Oh,
All
my
right.
God.
Final thing for you. Just score predictions of the game. What do you think?
All right, let's go with a score prediction. I'll say the Browns winning this with ease, 31-17.
31-17. Uh, let's see. Score prediction. We're gonna say that Browns are gonna go. I thought they were gonna do this last week, but I think this time they are gonna drop the 35 points. So we're gonna go 35-17. 35-17 is my score prediction on the game. So, but we're gonna wrap this one up here. I appreciate it as always. Uh, Thanks for joining me for 2 weeks consecutively. You'll probably own that crown for a long time.
Ah,
But good luck this week. Again, Browns and Jets Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock down at MetLife Stadium in New York. But that'll do it for the stream. You guys have a good day.